Hey everybody, this is Oren from Bento Desk, and today I wanted to show you the way around an error that I ran into in the local program by WP Engine when I was trying to import a website from a backup. I have a WordPress website backup from the old bentodesk.com website that I wanted to access, and local seemed like the best way to do that. But you'll see here that I ran into an error. This error says, please try again with a compatible zip file. So I had a bit of a hard time getting around that error. So I wanted to show you exactly what to do. So let me close this window and let me pull up local. Now, what we need to do before we can add our local site and select an existing zip, we need to make an adjustment to our backup zip file so that we don't run into that error again. So first, let's create a new folder. I'm going to call it Bento Desk Demo because I already have a website named Bento Desk in my local program here. So I don't want to duplicate that, which is why I added the demo portion here. Let me minimize local and I'll open up this folder, our new folder we just created. And you can, of course, name it whatever makes sense for the website that you're importing. And then we're also going to open up our zip file of our backup. So let me snap these windows left and right so that way it's easier to see what I'm doing. Now I'm going to go further into my zip folder, zip file, and there's two things that we need. First, we need our SQL file. This is the backup of our database. So we're going to copy that over to the root of the folder we just created, my folder bentodesk-demo. We also need a public HTML folder. However, we don't want to copy all of this stuff from the public HTML folder. We only need the WP content folder. So what we're going to do is we're going to create a new folder called public underscore HTML in that folder that we created earlier, mine being bentodesk-demo. So now I have the public HTML folder. We'll go into that folder and we'll go into that same folder in our zip file of our backup. And all we need from this folder is our WP content folder. So we're going to drag that over and copy it into our new public HTML folder in the new folder that we created for our website. Now you're going to see me warp here in a moment because I'm not going to make you watch the copying of all of this data. Even though it's a small amount of data in terms of size, it's a lot of files, so it takes a while. So I will be back in a second. Okay, our copying finally finished, and now we can move on to our next step. So you'll see we have our WP content folder within our public HTML folder, and then we have our SQL file within the root of the folder we created earlier with the name of our site. Now we need to do one more thing. So let's close our windows. And now I'm looking at my Bento Desk demo folder. All we need to do, I'll right click on it and then go to compress to and then zip file. So we'll let that compress into a zip. And now we have our new zip file. And this is going to be the zip file that we use to import into the local program. So let's open local and then I'll click on the plus button. And within the create a site window, I'm going to click on select an existing zip. And then I will choose the Bento Desk demo zip file that I just generated. And then I'll click open. Now it'll automatically bring in the name of the zip file. If you want to change it, you can at this point in time, but I'm going to leave it because that's what I want. Now there are some advanced options, but we're going to leave those as is. We're happy with those names. It just grabbed them from the local site name that populated or that we entered manually. Whatever you put in here will automatically fill in down here. Now you may have reasons to change these individually. We do not at this point. So we're going to leave that as is. And then we'll click continue. Now for this option to choose your environment, you can adjust your various versions of MySQL and PHP, but we're going to leave those as is. So we're going to leave preferred as our option that's selected. And then we'll click on import site. Now you'll see that there are less files that are being imported than the initial time that you attempted this, because the initial time that you tried to import, when it failed, you had files within that backup that weren't necessary. So we've eliminated those files that local doesn't want. We have only what local does want. And now we're going to see that it will import successfully. Now, at some point, we're going to get a UAC, or user account control window, that pops up. Just did. It says, do you want to allow this app to make changes to your device? I don't know if you can see this in my recording, but I'm going to click yes. And now we're farther than we were before. It's already to the point where it's adding WordPress. And we've seen some progress that local wasn't able to make with our initial import. Excellent. Site created successfully. So now you know how to get past that error. Again, the error that we're talking about is, please try again with a compatible zip file for the local program by WP engine. Hopefully that helps solve the problem that you're facing. And if you have any comments or questions, or you're running into any further roadblocks, let me know in the comments below. I'll do my best to help you, and I will see you in the next video.